So at CW Henry, we absolutely have a strong sense of family. We have a lot of students who attend here and their siblings also go here, many of whom parents also attended here, and we are a strong part of the Mount Airy community. So I grew up in West Mount Airy as well. My parents actually lived a few blocks from the school, and I attended Henry as a kid. So it's been really exciting and fulfilling for me to return as a principal, because many memories that I had when I attended Henry decades ago are still similar. We have a lot of parts of our programming that has been the same, consistent year after year. For example, when I was a kid here, we had many assemblies and a very vibrant arts program, and those components of our school are still just as strong.
I learned so much too. It's always fun when I learn with them, because then it's like that spark happens with both of us. But it was really cool, and we just went off on a tangent that wound up working so well, because you could do anything with music. Like, you could relate it to history, like next week we're starting Chinese New Year, and like, so there's just, you could find, music is literally everywhere. Everywhere. It's just so easy to teach, you know? You just have to like have the quirk to do it, to be quirky, to get their attention. I just would sing to everything, and then I would just sing when I was talking, and I would sing myself to sleep, and my sister would bang on the wall and tell me to shut up, and I would sing in the shower, and then I just realized, I'm like, this makes me so happy. And so I joined the choirs in elementary school and middle school, and then by high school I realized this could be something serious. But I was special ed. I have a special ed diagnosis for reading and math, and so I basically, if you can fail the SATs, I failed them. So growing up, I never felt like I met the standards that some of the other children did academically, and so it was really, I felt really bad about myself. And then when I found singing, it was something that set me aside from everyone, that made me shine. And so I kind of got through my whole life with my voice.
Well, at Henry, we try to make sure that all of the grades touch on a whole bunch of different media. So for example, my second and third graders just finished doing some pinch pots with texture. Some of them added a coil foot, and we just finished up glazing, and they came out of the kiln. All the grades will do clay. The grades will do weaving. Some of my second graders started a tree weaving, and we work with fabric and dyeing materials. We touch on perspective and technical drawing every year. So, for example, my kindergartners learn 1-point perspective with a farm, and aerial perspective with a cute drawing with some sheep. And it just progresses from there. About middle school, we start into 2-point perspective and 3-point perspective if the students are ready for it. So we really run the gamut. So a big part of art in general is, well, 2 parts. One is trial and error and understanding that not everything is going to work the way you planned it. But part of that teaches the artist what won't work. If you think about life, you know, when you go through life, you make some smart choices. And along the way, you make some choices that you wish you hadn't made, but you learn from them. And it ultimately makes you a better person. And art is very similar. So you have to kind of learn what works and what doesn't in order to hone your craft. So I make sure that students, if I'm making a mistake, they're aware of it. I did this, and I wish I had done it this way, and I'm going to try it this way this time. So a lot of times I don't go in with an exact finished product that I want the students to replicate, because part of the process is that they grow and learn on their own.
We employ an intervention called restorative practices, where when students have disagreements or any type of conflict, I use that intervention to try to mediate the situation. It's basically perspective sharing. It teaches empathy, perspective sharing, and perspective listening. So more or less, the students, I do focus on what occurred, but more or less it's about setting an agreement between the 2 parties or multiple parties and finding a way to move forward and cohabitate this situation or our school. The thing that inspired me most to get an education, to be an educator, was that education afforded me a lot. I was born and raised in Mount Airy. East Mount Airy over Wadsworth Avenue. I was born in that neighborhood. I attended schools in the Philadelphia School District, and I received an academic scholarship to a 4-year boarding school. So from that, I saw how education was able to help me get out of my situation and better myself as an individual. From there, I received the athletic scholarship to college, and I saw that education afforded me all these opportunities, so I like to give that back. I'm compelled to work on the emotional side of things and dealing with school culture, because I see how it really helps students learn. If you don't address the culture of a school or teach the skills, it's hard for students to actually be educated or allow themselves to be educated.
So at CW Henry, we definitely have a goal to educate the whole child. We prioritize academics, but we think about that alongside social and emotional performance of students as well. So as a teaching staff, we work on a weekly basis to plan out what our assessments will look like for the whole year. It is very important to us that our kids are prepared for the standardized testing and that they perform well. But we also are very intentional around not letting that dictate everything that we do in the school. It's all part of a balance.
Working at Henry, I try to enhance math in all areas of our building. My philosophy with teaching, to kind of get my students to kind of hone in on the skills that are being taught, is building relationships. So I try to build relationships inside and outside of the classroom. I find that if the relationship is good, the students want to learn, even when it's a subject area that they don't always feel comfortable in. So a lot of what we do in 7th and 8th grade is algebra. And there are many students who, as soon as you throw a letter into a math problem, they shut down. So I try to show them that there are things that are going to be easy and there are things that are going to be difficult. But no matter what, we need to work hard. And I think they get that message a little clearer when the relationship is built. So at Henry, I am in charge of pretzel sales. I'm a member of the PTA. I'm a member of the SAC. My son goes here. So I'm involved in Henry in a couple different ways. But in every way, I try to make sure I build relationships that are long lasting and promote learning.
Kids are curious. I have a poster back there that says, give kids information. They want to learn. They're curious, they're interested, they're invested. They want to debate, as evidenced by the 20 people on the debate team this year. And they understand what's going on. They understand the implications of it. You just have to give them the safe space to talk about it, discuss it, ask questions, make mistakes in their language and their comprehension, and then move forward.
My inspiration to become a teacher started with my 5th grade teacher, Miss Sharon Tate. She was my neighborhood school Stern. She was the person who I went back to visit. She was the person who had me apply to Central High School when I was just like, I'll go to Frankfurt. I'm from the Frankfurt area. And she has always been like the biggest cheerleader. She was a black female teacher, and she was one of my first black female teachers that reminded me of how my family was. So to see someone who looked like my mom or my aunt be in front of the class and command the respect and get it and have her routines and rules, and I ran into her a few weeks ago, and her daughter went to high school and college with me. She is, if I could be part of the teacher that she was, I would feel like I made a success.
Public education and Philadelphia public education gets a bad rap as far as I'm concerned. We work really hard with our kids. We give them a lot of opportunities. We invest ourselves personally and professionally in them, and they know it. And so if I wanted to say anything to the world, it's that we're doing a great job with the kids. The kids love being here. They have opportunities for sports, extracurricular activities, debate. They know about the world. They're ready for high school. We take pride in what we do as a team and as a family, and we're proud to see our kids when they come back to see us. Almost every week somebody comes back to see us outside and tell us what they're doing, and that's what makes our hearts sing, I think.
As a former Henry student, things were different, but now as an employee, you see times are changing, not everything's the same, and it's interesting to work with some of your old teachers yourself. Going from that, being your student, to being now your coworker, it was a good transition. A little awkward at first because I never knew, I call you by your first name, your last name, but it's been a great thing for me, and I love it. I really do. I have nieces and nephews in this school, about 6 of them in this school right now. They love it. My family's been big in the school. I have my mom who works here, my sister who works here, so my family's very big in this school. We love it, and we love the staff and the students. We love everything about it.
Well, I hope you've had a really wonderful time learning more about CW Henry School. This is a wonderful place to work, a wonderful place to have your child, and a wonderful place to learn and to grow. We have a lot of teachers who are very passionate about their practice and have committed decades to CW Henry School. It's really a gift that we enjoy sharing with members of the community, and we hope that you'll stop by and visit us too.